Discover the incredible, hidden journeys of 12 ancient Roman emperors, heartwarming tales of life and resilience. In a sleepy town like Maplewood, Ohio, Mr. Thompson felt like a ghost. This was a place of barbecues and Friday night football, yet here he stood, at 45, grappling with the weight of being just a history teacher in a room full of screens. His students were glued to their phones, sharing snapshots of their lives with the world while Mr. Thompson poured his heart into stories of ancient Rome, hoping to ignite a spark in their eyes. But they looked right through him, scrolling for likes while he fought to share legacies. It was as if the pulse of history had faded, leaving only the echo of modern distractions. One day, while dust danced in the sunlight of the town library, he stumbled upon a hidden treasure, diaries from 12 emperors who had once held the fate of Rome in their hands. His heart raced. The pages spoke of love and loss, betrayal and triumphs. Here were stories of spinning turntables of politics and human dilemmas that mirrored modern struggles. It clicked a way to connect the past with the present. He felt the vibrancy swell in his chest. He spent nights preparing, weaving tales of betrayal and courage, of unjust rulers and emperors who dared to dream. He introduced them to young Julius, mocked for his ambition but standing firm, to the brilliant Augustus, who rebuilt an empire from the ashes. Slowly, Mr. Thompson felt it, eyes were lifting from screens, a few curious glances flickered in his direction. But skepticism lingered, hanging like a fog over their discussions. Then came the tale of Tiberius, who wrestled against the tides of inequality. It struck a chord. Mr. Thompson spoke of the emperor's relentless struggle against economic injustice, facing ridicule from peers while trying to uplift those less fortunate. As he shared his story, he watched heads nod in recognition. This felt achingly familiar. Their own divided experiences, those whispers of inequality slashed through the sanctity of their lives. Each narrative echoed with the American dream, their hearts beating for rights they often took for granted. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. As the lesson deepened, the atmosphere shifted. Mr. Thompson felt something special brewing. A story unfolded of an emperor who chose loyalty over ambition, similar to a farmer in their town facing a corporate takeover. The connection ignited sparks in the classroom, faces lit up with understanding, resonating with those whispers of connection. The class project was set for presentation, excitement bubbling beneath the surface. But as whispers of the event spread, hidden cracks in the community re-emerged. When the farmer stepped forward to share his tale of resistance, a charged silence fell over the audience, the air thick with anticipation. Would their shared histories be enough to unite them? Would they listen? The room was still, every heart pounding, as truths swirled in the air, begging to be recognized. What would happen next? The weight of waiting could almost be felt, an emotional tug pulling them all closer to a moment that held the power to change everything. The room was filled with tension, each student feeling the weight of expectation. Mr. Thompson held his breath, his heart racing in sync with the pulse of uncertainty around him. When the farmer, Mr. Jacobs, began to speak, it was as if the air shifted. His voice trembled but carried a strength that demanded attention. "I've farmed this land for 30 years, he started, his gaze sweeping over the students and their skeptical expressions. But watching big corporations come in, snatching away our fields and hopes, it feels like they're trying to erase our history, our stories." As he spoke, Mr. Thompson sensed that this was more than just a presentation. It was a cry for solidarity. The students leaned in, some mouths slightly agape, others nodding, connecting dots between their digital lives and the reality unfolding before them. "When I first started, I thought I could fight them like Tiberius, standing up for those who didn't have a voice. I rallied the community to push back, to protect what was ours." But Mr. Jacobs paused, his expression heavy with emotion, "It's not just about land. It's about our legacy, our identity." A soft murmur spread through the audience. Mr. Thompson felt the energy shift, it was palpable. Students began to exchange glances, eyes wide with understanding. They'd witnessed similar struggles, families losing homes to gentrification, friends facing discrimination, all while hidden behind their screens. This wasn't just a lesson on Roman history anymore, this was their reality. The moment crystallized, a spark ignited not just in the classroom, but in the heart of Maplewood itself, as old wounds resurfaced and resilience bubbled to the surface. Mr. Thompson sensed the stories were healing, weaving an intricate web of connection where threads of past and present intertwined. As Mr. Jacobs finished, the applause that erupted felt like a release. It echoed off the walls, hearty and genuine. The students, buoyed by something bigger than themselves, shared their thoughts, their stories, those raw, unfiltered experiences slowly breaking the ice that had formed around their hearts. "Why don't we stand together?" one student shouted, emboldened by the moment. "If we created a movement, we could bring change." Mr. Thompson's heart soared, looking at these young faces filled with purpose. The very thought of their class project evolving into a community effort sent chills down his spine. Together, they could challenge the status quo, just like the emperors had in ancient Rome. But then amid the energy and excitement came a wave of apprehension. Mr. Jacobs had opened up wounds that were still raw, sensitive topics that could lead to conflict as well. Would the town embrace this newfound unity? As the students pondered these questions, the emotional camaraderie felt fragile, like a perfect balance waiting to tip. The room had transformed, but the path ahead was uncertain. Would they find the strength to push through, not just for history's sake but for their future? The bell rang, breaking the moment. Conversations fizzled as students filed out, but the spark remained, flickering in their hearts. Mr. Thompson noticed a small group lingering by the door, deep in discussion about their next steps as changemakers. Now the question lingered, what would they choose to do? Would they step into the light of action or retreat into the shadows of apathy? The answer was still unwritten, and as he watched their animated conversation, Mr. Thompson felt hope surge through him. What they did next could change everything. As the students drifted out, a palpable energy lingered in the room, thick with possibility. Mr. Thompson leaned against his desk, his heart still racing. What had just happened? It felt monumental, and he could see it in the faces huddled together, their animated chatter echoing off the walls. "Dude, we should totally start a petition. People need to know what's happening. I can get a bunch of signatures on my phone," said Emily, her voice brimming with excitement. "Yeah. We could do community meetings, get everyone involved," chimed in Sam, his eyes sparkling with ideas. "If we work together, we could change things." Mr. Thompson couldn't help but smile. The passion was infectious. It was one thing to be inspired during a lesson, but their willingness to act could ignite real change. "Are you all in?" he asked, stepping closer to the group. They turned to him, their faces full of determination. "This is just the beginning, but you must be cautious. Sometimes, standing up can make noise and not always the kind you want." Sam tilted his head slightly. "But isn't that how change starts? With noise? We can't just sit back and let it happen." Those words hit Mr. Thompson hard. He remembered his own youthful idealism, before he got buried under the weight of adulthood and responsibilities. The concepts of activism were clear in the classroom, but out there, it could be messy. The tension between hope and fear loomed larger than ever. "In the coming weeks, you'll need to do your research. Understand how the community is feeling, connect with different voices, both those for and against," he replied, tone serious yet supportive. "Knowledge is your most powerful tool." They nodded, but he could sense a flicker of doubt in Emily's eyes. "What if they don't want to listen to us? What if we're just teenagers? It feels like adults never take us seriously." "Then that's even more reason to speak up," Mr. Thompson reassured her, a conviction growing in his own heart. "It's not about age, it's about integrity, about standing for what matters. Remember that today's talk was powerful because it was honest, and that can resonate with anyone. As they brainstormed, the conversation sprawled across possibilities. Rallies, social media campaigns, reaching out to local journalists, they were bursting with energy and determination, slowly forging an outline of a plan that could move beyond their classroom walls. But as ideas took shape, Mr. Thompson couldn't shake the heavy weight of history. Civic movements aren't simple. They can fracture friendships and ignite divisions. And what of the older residents who felt their way of life crumbling under the pressures of change? Guys, he interrupted, the seriousness of their goal striking him hard. You have to be prepared for some pushback. Change can be hard for people to accept and anger can surface. It's crucial to approach this with empathy. Explore the stories and histories of everyone involved. A silence fell, thoughts colliding. The excitement morphed slightly, uncertainty creeping in. Are we really ready for this? Emily finally asked, her voice softer now. The group exchanged glances, realizing the magnitude of their aspirations. Were they truly prepared to take on the complexities of their community's challenges? Or would they falter, haunted by their fears? As the final bell rang, Mr. Thompson felt it again, the spark of hope illuminated by the flickering shadow of doubt. They took a step forward, but balancing their ambitions with humility wouldn't be easy. Outside the school gates, they stood briefly, deep in conversation about their next moves, each sharing ideas about how they would gather support. But in that moment of togetherness, a look of anxiety swept across Sam's face. Wait, what happens if we actually make waves? He asked, uncertainty lingering. What if the corporations respond? Mr. Thompson could only watch as the weight of the challenges ahead loomed ever larger. Did they have what it would take to weather the storm of resistance? The question hung heavily in the air as they forged onward. Excitement mixed with raw fear, culminating in that one profound truth: change was coming, but were they truly ready for it? The following week, the chatter that buzzed around the school was different. It had a new tone, a mix of anticipation and anxiety. Mr. Thompson noticed it right away as he entered the classroom. The bright faces from days before now bore shadows of doubt, a hint of the reality they were beginning to grasp. Emily was the first to speak up. Mr. Thompson, did you hear about the town meeting next week? Everyone is talking about it. She fidgeted with the corner of her notebook, her eyes darting to the ground. Yes, I heard, he replied, feeling a knot of worry tightening in his stomach. This is an opportunity. It's a chance for you to voice your thoughts. Are you ready? Sam shook his head in frustration. What if they just dismiss us? What if they don't care about what we think? It's not like we have any real influence. Mr. Thompson felt the weight of those words. Being dismissed was a reality, especially for those not deemed serious in the eyes of many adults. You won't know unless you try, he encouraged softly, hoping to instill a bit of resolve in their hearts. Just remember, even the smallest voices can echo loud enough to create change. With the meeting looming, the group met after school to finalize their plan. The air was thick with determination but sprinkled with palpable tension. Emily controlled her nerves by jotting down meeting points on a whiteboard while Sam paced back and forth, occasionally muttering about how they could approach the community. Let us be logical. Start with facts. Gather stories, figure out what people actually think. He insisted, the passion building almost like a storm. Yet behind that resolve, Mr. Thompson could see the worry, a fear of inadequacy clouding their vision. Suddenly, Emily's voice pierced through the tension. But what about getting on the local news? If we want to get people involved, they need to know we exist. What if we created a video to share our thoughts? Her eyes lit up, and the wheels were clearly turning. That was it. Emily, that's brilliant. A video could break down barriers. People want to see faces and hear emotions, not just stats, Mr. Thompson replied, heart racing at this unexpected spark. Sam shrugged, however, doubt still etched into his features. But what if we say something wrong? What if we get it all mixed up? A silence fell as they considered this. A shared vulnerability hung in the air, the weight of the unknown heavy on their shoulders. This is our truth, Mr. Thompson finally spoke, leaning against the doorframe. You are sharing your experiences. Mistakes or not, that's how people connect with you. They'll see the courage behind your voice. As they rehearsed their script, each word seemed to become imbued with newfound weight. They practiced in front of one another, laughter spilling over nervous breaths, yet the tension remained. Each pause held a world of doubt and vulnerability, but it was quelled by bursts of laughter over clumsy phrasing and mishaps, yet, as they celebrated minor victories, a lingering doubt shadowed the corners of their minds. What if they failed? What if their voices truly didn't matter? Days raced by. The group grew closer, and their fear transformed into a strange excitement. They gathered an audience for their video, sharing ideas, connecting their dreams with those around them. Finally, the evening of the town meeting arrived, and they walked into the town hall with butterflies dancing in their stomachs. Sam whispered, "What if nobody listens?" Emily grabbed his arm, "Then we'll make them listen." As their hearts beat in unison, they took the first step toward the podium. All eyes turned to them, a wall of community faces eager for their voices. But just as Sam began to speak, the doors swung open, and in walked a group of Suits local business leaders known for their powerful influence over the community. The atmosphere shifted instantly. Mr. Thompson felt tension ripple through the crowd. The stakes just got higher, and the weight of the moment hung in the air. Were they truly prepared for what lay ahead? Would the people respond to the sincerity of their youthful hope, or would they be drowned out by the sound of authority? The moment hung precariously, and he whispered under his breath, knowing the essence of their mission change was within reach, but so was the storm of resistance they would face. Did they possess enough courage to push through? The crowd shifted uneasily as the Suits strode in, their polished shoes echoing against the wooden floor. Conversations faded into hushed whispers, and the air became thick with apprehension. Mr. Thompson could feel the energy drain from the room, replaced by an undercurrent of anxiety. Sam's mouth went dry, his fingers trembling at the podium. He glanced sideways at Emily, whose determined expression somehow cut through the tension. She squeezed his arm, steadying him even as her own uncertainty flickered in her eyes. "Deep breath," she whispered, her voice barely audible above the murmurs d'Amar. Thompson stepped closer, his presence a shield against the looming authority of the business leaders. "Remember, you're sharing your story. Speak from the heart. That's where the true power lies," he encouraged, giving a reassuring nod. Sam turned to the audience, each face a blend of curiosity and skepticism. His heart raced, each beat echoing louder in his ears. Was this what it felt like to stand toe-to-toe with the established powers of their community? Breath hitching, he began to articulate their vision, words spilling out a mix of passion and raw nerves. "The youth in our town have something to say. We care deeply about our future, and the direction our community is headed. We want to make a difference." Sam's voice, though shaky at first, found a rhythm, strengthening with each phrase. Emily took a deep breath and stepped up beside him. "We're not just here to talk about problems, we want to be part of the solutions. We're not invisible. We have ideas, and we want you to listen. We all want our town to thrive," she said, her voice growing firmer. A ripple of acknowledgement spread through the audience. Mr. Thompson saw heads nodding, a flicker of hope igniting in their eyes. It was a spark, small but significant, but then came a voice from the back of the room, the head of the business leaders, Mr. Donovan, who was notorious for his dismissive public persona. "What makes you think we haven't heard what kids like you have to say before? This is not about fancy speeches, it's about results," he challenged, his tone cutting through the air. A wave of unease washed over the students, but Sam didn't falter. "Respectfully, sir, that's the problem. Too often, our words get lost in adult agendas. We're not just asking for a seat at the table, we deserve our voices to be part of the conversation," he said, feeling a fire igniting within him. An unexpected courage surged forward. Mr. Donovan looked taken aback, his brow knitting in confusion. "And what exactly do you propose we do?" Emily caught Sam's eye, an unspoken agreement passing between them. "Let us work together. Create a youth council or a platform where we can share our ideas regularly." "It's time for a dialogue," she suggested, her heart pounding in the silence that followed. The tension in the air was thick, yet something shifted. Mr. Thompson felt it too. The crowd was contemplating. Kids were speaking up, and adults were listening. Was this the moment they were waiting for? "All right, let us explore this idea further," Mr. Donovan finally said, his voice steady but now tinged with open curiosity. "But you need to realize, this is only the beginning. Talk is easy." As the students launched into their vision, Mr. Thompson felt a swell of pride. Their voices, once filled with doubt, now stood forging their path with determination. Yet, just as questions began to arise from the audience, the doors swung open again, this time revealing a local news crew with cameras rolling. The room erupted into a buzz of murmurs. A chance to broadcast their message was unfolding right before their eyes, the excitement and dread mixed, leaving an electric charge in the atmosphere. Could this opportunity truly amplify their voices? What risks would come with this newfound attention, and would they be prepared to handle it? And in that moment, as Sam faced the camera, the weight of expectation loomed larger than ever. Would their message take flight to inspire change, or would it crash before even leaving the ground? Sam's heart raced in his chest as the camera light flickered on. 1,000 thoughts spiraled inside him. What if they messed up? What if no one took them seriously? He caught a glimpse of Emily. She was a whirlwind of energy, determination sparking in her eyes. It was infectious. He drew in a deep breath and prepared to speak again. "Thank you for hearing us," he began, trying to keep his voice steady. "We want to share our ideas on how we can improve our community. It's time to bridge the gap between our generation and yours. We want to innovate, to lead, and to be included." Their message echoed in the room. Emily stepped forward again. "Together, we could host workshops to brainstorm solutions for issues we face, like the lack of youth activities, environmental challenges, and community engagement. We want to collaborate, not dictate." She could feel a shift in the crowd's energy, eyes widened with curiosity, shoulders relaxed. Sam saw Mr. Donovan leaning forward, interest flickering in his eyes. His hopeful spark ignited. Maybe they could do this. Maybe they were finally being heard. As Sam spoke, an unexpected warmth spread through him. Each idea sparked a sense of purpose. This wasn't just a presentation, it was a call to action. The camera followed him, catching moments of shared nervous glances and excited whispers from the audience. He saw Mr. Thompson smiling with pride, a silent reassurance that everything would be okay. Then came a moment of tension. A woman from the news team raised her hand, cutting through the atmosphere. "What happens if they get overwhelmed by your voices, though? What are you willing to do if nothing changes?" Her question hung heavy in the air. Sam gulped. The flicker of uncertainty returned. What if they all went back to their ignored lives, even after this? He met Emily's gaze, searching for strength in her resolve. "We won't give up," he replied, surprising himself with the certainty of his words. "We're willing to keep pushing. We'll hold community forums, advocacy events. We'll keep talking until we're acknowledged." His words felt bold yet grounded. The crowd murmured softly, the weight of their message settling in. Even Mr. Donovan looked introspective, a faint furrow on his brow. "A worthy promise," he finally said, voice even. "But if you want to see results, you need to take responsibility too. This is not a path to just seeking benefits, it's about commitment. Are you ready for that?" A hush fell over the room as they contemplated the weight of his challenge. Sam exchanged anxious glances with Emily and Mr. Thompson. Some children looked uncertain, others determined. "Yes," Emily finally answered, her voice unwavering. "We're ready. We understand that it won't be easy, but we'll fight for our place not just today, but for as long as it takes." Her words resonated, spilling confidence into the air. As Sam watched her, he felt the warmth of a growing belief within him. They were no longer just students, they were leaders in their own right. Suddenly, the doors burst open once again, and a figure stepped inside, a familiar face from the community. It was Mayor Harris, a person all too aware of the strife the youth had been experiencing. "Is this a meeting, or a movement?" she called out, her charismatic presence capturing everyone's attention. Excitement rippled through the crowd. Could this unexpected twist change everything? As smiles spread, Sam's heart raced, filled with both hope and fear for what lay ahead. They had taken their stand, and this was just the beginning. Would they have the courage to rise to the occasion? Would their community truly support them? The anticipation hung thick in the air, leaving them to wonder what this new opportunity could hold. As Mayor Harris stepped into the room, the atmosphere pulsed with energy. Sam couldn't help but stare at her, trying to catch a glimpse of what this meant for their cause. She had a reputation for being approachable yet firm, a true believer in community spirit. "Tell me what you seek," she said, her voice steady, as she scanned the crowd. "Why are you here?" There was a moment of silence. Sam felt the weight of their hopes resting on his shoulders. He glanced at Emily, who gave him a confident nod, encouraging him to take the lead. His heart raced again, but this time not from fear. This was a chance to make their visions known. "Mayor Harris," he began, his voice rising above the quiet. "We believe our generation has ideas that can elevate our community. We want to collaborate. We want your support to find solutions, from environmental sustainability to better youth programs." The murmurs in the room grew. Sam could see people leaning in, eager for more. "We want to create a space where everyone can contribute," Emily added passionately. "But we need leadership that's willing to stand alongside us, not just oversee." A ripple of agreement surged in the crowd, the power of their voices intertwining. Sam observed the community members nodding, recalling their own experiences and the frustrations they had faced. They were all connected by a shared desire for change, to see their hometown thrive once again. Mayor Harris stepped forward, her expression unyielding yet inspired. "You're talking about a vision for the future, a future I would like to help shape with you. But it starts here. What's your first step?" Sam's pulse quickened as that question hung in the air. The weight of it echoed what he'd felt since the beginning. He turned to Emily, and they exchanged a look, knowing that a plan was needed. It had to be something bold yet practical. "Community forums," he finally said, his voice stronger than he anticipated. "We're not just here to talk at people, we want to hear them. We'll stake out public spaces, invite everyone young and old together to brainstorm, to share stories. We want to build a real dialogue." Emily interjected, "Let us hold a kickoff event, a festival of ideas. Food, music, activities. Something that draws everyone in and lets them know their voices matter. We could showcase local talent and make it a celebration." Mayor Harris's eyes sparkled with excitement. "Now that's the spirit. Connecting through celebration could be a powerful way to galvanize your community spirit. You'll need all the support you can get, and I want to be a part of this with you. Let's make your vision reality." The crowd erupted into cheers. Sam felt something swell inside him, a mix of relief and excitement. This was happening. They were building a bridge, and the doors seemed wide open. Suddenly, a woman in the front row stood up, her face partially obscured by her hoodie. "I want to help. I have music connections, we can get local bands." Another added, "I can design flyers and help spread the word." The ripple effect of their excitement was contagious. Sam and Emily exchanged hurried smiles, their spirits soaring higher with each enthusiastic voice. As the meeting continued, ideas flowed like water, sparks igniting among the crowd. There was energy, there was hope. But amidst all the laughter and dialogue, a nagging thought remained in Sam's mind: is this enough? They had the support, but what if the momentum faded? With a surge of determination, he raised his hand, quieting the crowd momentarily. "Let's commit to meeting weekly, he suggested. Together, we can hold each other accountable. This can't be a one-time event. Nods and murmurs of agreement spread throughout the room. Sam felt bolstered by their intention. They were building something lasting, not just a flash in the pan. Yet, as the meeting wrapped up with plans for next steps, Sam couldn't shake the question lingering at the back of his mind. Would they have enough time and resilience to maintain this fire? As the excitement waned and everyone began to filter out, Sam hung back, trying to meet Mayor Harris's eye. They needed her support, and he needed to voice this to her. "Mayor, can we speak for a moment? I have an idea." He felt the weight of the moment settle back on him, the realization that this was only the beginning of a longer journey stretching before them, one that might just change everything. Would their determination be enough to sustain the momentum they had generated? Sam waited as the last few people filtered out, each one buzzing with excitement from the meeting. He could see the energy ebbing, a warm glow of possibility lingering in the air. Mayor Harris glanced his way, a patient expression on her face, but time felt like it was slipping away. "Sure, let us chat," she said, stepping closer. "What's on your mind, Sam?" Taking a breath, he ran a hand through his hair. "I just want to ensure we have a sturdy plan. The festival is a fantastic kickoff, but it can't just end there. I want this to ignite something sustainable." The mayor nodded, her expression turning thoughtful. "It's good you're thinking ahead. There are so many moving pieces in community building. What do you envision?" "I want to create a task force, something diverse, involving people from all walks of life. We need to engage not just with the enthusiastic crowd but also with those who may feel left out. We need to hear from everyone." Sam's eyes sparkled with determination. "Excellent idea," she encouraged. "Empowering the community starts with inclusivity. What do you think about forming several committees to focus on different areas? Let us break it down and involve people in a way that speaks to their passions." Sam's mind raced. Yes. A youth committee to focus on local programs, an environmental group to tackle sustainability efforts. We could have a team dedicated just to communications and outreach. This could really bring people together. Exactly, Mayor Harris agreed, a smile spreading across her face. "And what's your timeline? You'll want to strike while the iron is hot, but balance it so you don't overwhelm your volunteers." His heart thumped with realization. Right. We need immediate steps but a long-term framework too. Maybe an initial meet and greet after the festival to organize. That way, we can build excitement as we introduce our leaders and set our goals. Perfect. Keep it manageable, she advised. You all will have to be vigilant in keeping the momentum going, finding ways to build excitement week after week. As Sam thought, he felt a wave of gratitude towards her. Mayor Harris wasn't just a figurehead, she was a true ally. "I really appreciate your guidance. Your support in all this, it means a lot." Her gaze softened. "This is your vision, Sam. I can provide resources, but it's your passion that will inspire others to follow. Just remember, setbacks are part of the process. It's okay if not everything goes according to plan." A knot formed in Sam's stomach at the thought of failure, but it also stirred another feeling, a spark of resolve. "I won't let it derail us. We'll adapt. We have to believe in ourselves and keep moving forward no matter what." She smiled again and nodded. "That's the spirit. You will face challenges, and it's those moments that truly define your strength. Do you think it'd be okay to lean on you for advice down the road?" His voice had a tinge of vulnerability. "I don't want to burden you, but having your expertise would be invaluable." "Absolutely," Mayor Harris said, placing a reassuring hand on his shoulder. "That's why I'm here. Reach out whenever you feel the need." As she turned to leave, Sam couldn't help but feel as if this was the turning point, a fragile yet powerful moment. They were on the precipice of something bigger than themselves. But his heart quietly grappled with doubt that loomed beneath his excitement. Would the community rally together the way they hoped? Would they all stay engaged past the initial excitement of the festival? He wanted to understand how to inspire ongoing devotion. What kind of leader would they need? As he walked out into the crisp evening, doom and hope danced hand in his chest. He resolved to meet tomorrow with Emily and the rest of the team. But the expansive future felt both thrilling and terrifying. His phone buzzed. A message from Emily: "Can we brainstorm tomorrow? I have some ideas." Sam smiled, but a deep breath caught in his throat. What if he was too focused on potential obstacles? Was he missing the chance to just embrace the moment? Let's dig deep, he murmured to himself as he glanced back toward the building. Tomorrow will bring new challenges, and it starts with belief. As he walked home, the question lingered in his mind, compelling and daunting: could they rise to meet the journey ahead? The moment Sam walked through his front door, the warmth of home wrapped around him like a soft blanket. The familiar scent of coffee brewing in the kitchen brought a sense of comfort. He paused for a second, grasping the complexity of what lay ahead. Tomorrow wasn't just another day, it was crucial for the future of their community. "Hey, how was your day?" His mom called from the kitchen, her voice cheerful. She was stirring a pot, the rhythmic clink of the spoon against the metal a soothing sound. "Good, I think," he replied, sliding off his shoes as he moved toward her. "We had a meeting about the festival, and it went really well." "Really? I knew you'd make a great impression," she said, beaming with pride. He wanted to share the details, the plan to create the committees, the excitement bubbling among the volunteers, but he hesitated. Would she understand the weight of expectations balancing on his shoulders? Instead, he simply smiled back, thankful for her unwavering support. "Dinner's almost ready," she said, glancing at the clock. "You must be starving. How about I make you a plate?" "Thanks, Mom. I'd love that." He took a seat at the kitchen table, the wood cool beneath his fingers as he contemplated the magnitude of what they were aiming to build. Part of him was riding high on hope, while another part was still tethered by anxiety. After they finished eating, he helped clean up, but his mind was already replaying the next day's rendezvous with Emily and the team. What ideas would she bring? Would they be as eager as he was to forge this new path? "Sam." His mom's voice broke the bubble of his thoughts. "Yeah. Is everything okay? You look a little lost in thought." He chuckled, feeling silly. "Just trying to figure out how to keep everyone inspired, you know." She nodded, her eyes brimming with understanding. "That's a heavy burden for anyone. It's okay to feel uncertain sometimes. Just remember, not everyone expects you to have all the answers right now." Her words sank in, softening his fears. Maybe it was all right to lean on others, to admit he didn't have every detail figured out. "That's true," he said softly, letting a bit of his worry melt away. "But I just want this to mean something to everyone. And it will, if you stay true to your vision." She reached across the table and squeezed his hand. "Just keep your heart in it. You'll draw others in with your passion." With her encouragement lingering in his mind, he decided he wouldn't shy away from asking for help. Tomorrow's meeting would be a team effort, and together they would find their way. That evening, as Sam lay in bed, his mind swirled with possibilities. The exhilaration of what could be churned with whispers of doubt. Could they really inspire lasting change? What if the excitement fizzled out after the festival? Just then, his phone buzzed again. Another message, but this one was different, an invitation for a pre-meeting chat with the committee leaders he hadn't yet met. With a mix of enthusiasm and panic, he read it a couple of times. This was a chance to connect, not just to plan, but to foster those very relationships he felt were necessary for their endeavor. Regaining some confidence, Sam shot back a reply: "Absolutely. Let's do it." He turned off his phone and stared at the ceiling, heart racing as he pictured the faces of those who would soon be part of this journey. They could rise together, couldn't they? But what if they failed? That question lingered like a silent ghost in the room. Sam closed his eyes, trying to quell the rising tide of his worries. Tomorrow was a new day, a fresh opportunity. Would they truly take that leap together and believe in the vision? The weight of uncertainty hung heavy, but amidst it all, a glimmer of hope flickered stubbornly in the shadows. It was enough to carry him into sleep, but the unknown awaited a potential simmering and ready to boil over. Could they really bind the community together as they dreamed? The sun rose over Maplewood, casting warm hues across the sky, illuminating the town with a soft glow. Sam awoke with a renewed sense of purpose. The day had finally arrived, the festival they had planned for weeks, a celebration of connection and community. He bounced out of bed, eager for this long-awaited moment. As he pulled on a shirt, his mind raced through the agenda for the day. The kickoff event would bring together people from all different walks of life, young and old, to share stories, hopes, and visions for the community's future. This wasn't just an event, it was a manifestation of the voices that had once felt silenced. At school, the energy was electric. Students rushed about, setting up tents and poster boards. The air was filled with laughter, anticipation, and a hint of anxiety. Emily caught his eye and waved, an infectious smile spreading across her face. "Are you ready for this, partner?" she asked, excitement bubbling beneath her words. "More than ready." His heart raced, fueled by both fear and electric possibility. All their hard work, all those late nights of brainstorming and planning, were leading to this moment. As the festival began, people began filtering in, led by the smell of barbecue and the sweet sound of music drifting from the stage. The heart of Maplewood thumped in unison. Neighbors greeted each other, children laughed, and the jubilant atmosphere began knitting the community together, thread by colorful thread. Sam watched as local bands took the stage, musicians pouring their passion into melodies that echoed the stories they all carried. Then it was time. Sam and Emily took a deep breath and stepped up to the microphone, standing before their community. The crowd quieted, eyes on them, expressions a mix of curiosity and hope. "Thank you all for being here," Sam began, his voice steady and clear. "Today is about you. It's about sharing our stories, understanding one another, and envisioning a future we can all be proud of." Emily stepped forward, her eyes gleaming. "Each of us has a unique story, our joys, our fears, our struggles. And it is through these stories that we find strength and solidarity." As they spoke, the crowd became visibly engaged. They nodded, murmured in agreement, and connected over shared experiences. Mr. Jacobs was there, eyes gleaming, as he stood with others leaning in close, wanting to hear every sentiment. Sam felt the moment swell with something indescribable, a surge of unity sparkling through the air. Could they truly be on the cusp of change? After their introduction, the festival unveiled its heart story. Sharing booths were set up throughout the park. Residents began stepping forward, sharing their own tales of resilience, echoing messages of hope and building ties within the community. Mr. Jacobs spoke passionately about the fight for his farm, while a single mom shared her journey of overcoming struggles to create a better future for her children. Tears glistened in eyes throughout the crowd. Sam even felt the moisture prick his own as he witnessed how these connections flowed freely, breaking down walls that had lingered too long. This was what they had aimed for. The test flights of empathy and understanding, it was all coming together. As the day evolved, Sam watched as strangers transformed into friends. Conversations sparked like fireworks, erupting into laughter and camaraderie. People sought out answers to their questions, urging each other to join the task force, the youth council, committees focused on their priorities. He felt a touch at his shoulder and turned to see Mayor Harris, her smile broad and genuine. "This is incredible. What you've started here, it's truly inspiring," she said, pride in her voice. "We couldn't have done this without the team, the community, and you believing in our vision," Sam replied, feeling the sense of pride swell within him. As the day drew to a close, twinkling lights began to illuminate the park, providing a magical glow amidst the softening twilight. A sense of fulfillment washed over Sam. They had created something meaningful. Together. They didn't just stage a festival, they had ignited a movement. Standing on the stage together at the close of the event, Sam and Emily looked out at the crowd lit by flickering lights, warmth filling the air. They would keep this momentum rolling, building on the newfound connections. "Are we ready to keep this fire going?" Sam asked, catching Emily's eye with determination. "Ready and willing," she exclaimed, a fire igniting within them both. As cheers erupted around them, Sam felt a weight lifted from his shoulders. They had taken the leap, and Maplewood was forever changed by that courageous step. Together with the community, they would forge ahead, embracing the challenges, dreams, and realities of their lives. Hand in hand, everyone had a voice. Everyone's story mattered. And every journey, no matter how small, contributed to the grand tapestry that was their shared experience. This was just the beginning. Now, it's your turn to take action. You need to subscribe immediately to the channel so you don't miss the next exclusive stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm. Your support matters. Comment your reactions and feelings about this inspiring ending. We want to hear from you. And don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Let us build a community that thrives on connection, understanding, and change.